Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss very important concept or very important electrical instrument, that is a moving coil galvanometer. So this instrument is used to measure a very small current or to detect a current. So this instrument you have learned or we have used in Wheatstone bridge, in current electricity, in meter bridge also, and in potentiometer also we have used this instrument to detect the current through the circuit, okay, or to measure a very small current, that is in milliampere or in microampere, okay. So to measure large amount of current we use the ammeter, and that ammeter also can be converted from moving coil galvanometer. So if you want to learn ammeter and voltmeter, so understanding of moving coil galvanometer is very important. So this is a very important topic for board point of view also, and for competitive also. But majorly this topic is important, this theoretical concept construction and working is important for board point of view, okay. But for understanding of ammeter and voltmeter, understanding of moving coil galvanometer is also very important, okay. So this is the actually last topic of chapter number 4 of physics of class 12, that is moving charge and magnetism, okay. So you watch this video from beginning to end, okay, so that you will learn all the concept related to this. At the end we will solve one numerical also, and in this we will learn current sensitivity, voltage sensitivity also, meaning of that, okay. So if you are ready with pen and notebook, I can start, because this is very important. Always in every video I tell you that you must write, okay, because it is this creation of this video or creation of this purpose of this creation is only there are two what you can say two parameters. One is my satisfaction. I wanted my videos, my lectures to be in a recorded form, and another thing, the people who are not able to understand, because in class what happens, in class you forget, after the class you forget the things. So if you want to revise the thing, so nothing is available, you have to go to the teacher or something you can do. But if some video is available with you, you can watch it again and again. We can pause it, here there is option, you can rewind it if you have not understood the concept, and you can learn. That is advantage, okay. So purpose behind creating this video lectures is one is my satisfaction. I wanted my videos to be in recorded form. Another is the people will also get benefited, okay. So let us start. So my name is Krishna Kumar Somavanshi, and I welcome you all to my channel Prakash Vahini, okay. So let us start. So what is moving coil galvanometer? As I told you, this is the very descriptive theoretical part, okay, but understanding is very important. So you write everything whatever appears on the board or on the screen, right? So what is the principle of working behind this is moving coil galvanometer is an electromagnetic device that can measure small values of current, okay. Basically this is used to measure small quantity, small value of current, okay, or to detect. Basically it is used to detect the current, whether the current is passing from the circuit or not. For that purpose it is used, okay. So another name is Wheatstone galvanometer. So mostly it is famous with this name, moving coil galvanometer, okay, and it works on electromagnetic concept. It is an electromagnetic device, means concept of electricity and concept of magnetism both are included. Okay, so in the previous lecture, if you have watched that on my channel, it was based on torque. Okay, magnetic force, and due to that torque is developed. Okay, so based on that concept, this is working, right? It works on, as I told you, principle that when a current loop is placed in an external magnetic field, it experiences a torque. Okay, and that value of torque can be changed by changing the current loop, changing the current in the current loop. Okay, so if you change the current, torque will be developed, more torque will be developed, and more deflection will be there. Okay, and that deflection we are going to measure. Okay, so on that rotating coil, one pointer will be there. That pointer will slide on the scale, and on that scale reading will be there in ampere, milliamperes. Okay, I will make you understand everything with the diagrams. So what we have to do, use a coil having many turns, and we will place it in a strong magnetic field. Okay, in a strong magnetic field, and when the current to be measured from that coil, that we will pass through this, and that will rotate the coil. This is the concept. Okay, so when pointer and scale read the deflection of the coil, okay, use the pointer and scale to read the deflection, as I told you. So what happens here, more current you will pass, that is input, current is the input here, so more torque will be developed, more torque will be developed, and that torque will give you more deflection, which is the output. Okay, so that deflection we can measure on the scale, that is your output. Clear? So deflection should be directly proportional to the current. Okay, here that is happening, and so we can say that deflection means it is a current passing through the coil. Okay, so this is a complete theoretical concept. So I will make you understand this, whatever we have explained on this slide, okay, with the diagrams. Okay, so continue your watching. Write down everything. Have you written this? You can pause it and you can write. I will move forward. So this moving coil galvanometer consists of permanent horseshoe magnet. Okay, coil, soft iron core, pivoted springs, non-magnetic frame, scale, and pointer. These are the different components of this what you can say moving coil galvanometer. With the help of this, we will convert this current into deflection. Okay, thus such a kind of diagram will be there. Now look, so here it is a one north pole, south pole. This is a magnet. Okay, so two poles of one magnet. These are not two different magnet. How is it? How it is kept? Again, I have another figures also. So from that also you will learn. But I will tell you here also. Suppose this is one magnet. Okay, this is one magnet. Okay, like this, and here this coil is fixed. Okay, so this is a north pole and this is south pole. So this is only one magnet, not two magnets, and here magnetic field line will pass like this. Okay, this magnetic field line will pass this. So it can be, just a minute. Okay, so and this is how, suppose this is a block. Okay, this is a block. Okay, and on this wires is wound. This wire is wound like this on this, right? And here it is a spring. So this part is shown here. This part is shown here. Okay, so this whatever is there here, this part, these coils are wound like this. Okay, and these magnet N and S are like this. Okay, this is only one magnet. So here you may see that this is a different magnet, this is another magnet, and how this north pole only there, okay, monopole doesn't exist, and why the separate poles are written here, how it is possible? So no, actually here in the figure separately it is shown, but actually this part is not shown, this part is not shown, but basically it is the only one magnet, means it will have only one north pole, one south pole, and in between, and this is the outside portion of the magnet, yes or no, means magnetic field line outside the magnet will flow from north to south like this, inside from south to north like this, yes or no? So this you know. So this is the situation, okay. So this is the core, okay, and this is a horseshoe magnet we can say, okay, and this is a coil, soft coil you can say, and all parameter, this pivoted what you can say spring, this is a spring, okay. So this plays very important role, this spring plays very important role. So one by one we will discuss, continue your watching. So let me clear this annotations. Now look, so this torque developed, so what will happen basically here, look, if this magnetic field line from north to south will be there like this, yes or no, and as I told you, this is placed like this, okay, this core is placed like this, inclined to this, okay. So these are the wires, okay, wires are kept like this. So cross section area of all the loops, one loop, second loop, third loop, okay, so all these are the loops here, okay. So all these you have cross section area same, but and magnetic field lines are passing like this, means angle between this magnetic field line and this area vector, if this is the area vector is perpendicular to this surface, no, so this is the area, okay, so this is the angle, means these are inclined, so area vector is like this in this direction, magnetic field lines in this direction, so this is the angle, this angle is very important. If this angle is 0, means what will happen, area vector will go on this side, magnetic field on the same line, this is the magnetic field and this is the area. So if angle between area vector and magnetic field line is 0, so no torque will be developed, that we have seen in the previous lecture, yes or no, in the torque. If you have not watched, you can watch it, go to my channel, okay, you can click on Prakash Vahini, which is written below this video, on that you click and you will directly will go to my channel, and there you can find that lecture, torque on current loop. In that I have explained how this torque is developed and what is the role of that theta, that I have explained there, okay. So this is the torque, and value of that torque is what, this value of torque is what, this, so NIAB sin theta, okay. So N is number of coils, okay, number of turns you can say 1 2 3 4, and these are closely, I have shown with this, some distance, but these are all close, close and insulated, when they will touch, so due to insulation there will not be any short circuit, okay, it will not get short circuited, okay. I is the current flowing through these coils, that will be same through all coils. Area sorry sorry, okay. So this area and this B is what, magnetic field, and sin theta means this theta is what, I told you, this is the angle between area vector and magnetic field, okay na. Now where I told you current is I, number of turns, area of coil, magnetic field. Okay, so this area, you should not confuse, this area is different for different coil from this figure. From this figure you may see that this area vector is different for the, no, here it is shown like this, but actually it is like this. Okay, so area of all the coils will be same. Yes or no? An angle between A and B. A means area vector, B means a magnetic field. Okay. Now, as I told you, this area vector is perpendicular to the loop and it should be in the direction of magnetic field. It should not be in the direction of magnetic field, because due to that what will happen? Torque will be 0. We want torque here. We want torque here. Okay. So, as this coil rotates, okay, so what type of torque is developed here? So you have understood this. So here and here, okay, so this force, magnetic force, and this magnetic force will be developed due to that torque, and this coil rotates in this direction like this. Okay, it will rotate in this direction. So due to that what will happen? Due to this rotation, this also start rotating. Okay, but this is a spring, so in this wire and in this spring, a restoring torque will be developed. Restoring torque will be developed. So you might have done the experiment. Suppose this is one wire and one block is there, okay, and if you will rotate this block, okay, in this direction, so this is a twist you will give. Suppose this is a twist, if you rotate this continuously, so here this will also rotate like this. Okay, so but in this what? Restoring torque will be developed. Restoring torque will be developed. Restoring torque. And restoring torque means what? When you release the force on this, okay, so it will, due to this what will happen? It will again in the reverse direction it will rotate. Okay, it will rotate in the reverse direction and it will settle at some moment. Okay, so if this restoring torque is not developed, in some material it is not developed. When you will rotate this, it will, and after removal of the force, it will remain at the same place. But here it is not happening. It will rotate in the reverse direction. Means what? Restoring torque is developed. And here additional spring is also there. Spring is also stiff. Its restoring value, okay, its torsional constant is more. So it will again, so more what you can say, more restoring torque will be developed in the spring. That is why spring is, additional spring is applied there. Getting or not? Getting now? So this will develop a restoring torque in the wire and the spring. That restoring torque is given as C into phi. Phi is a deflection which we are giving. Phi is a deflection which we are giving. Okay, this angle of rotation will be there. At how much angle it is rotating? Okay, at how much angle it is rotating, that is phi. Theta is different. Theta is the angle between area vector and magnetic field. That is also changing. Okay, look, if this is rotating, this is the loop, no? If this loop is rotating, direction of area vector is changing. So, and magnetic direction of magnetic field is same. Magnetic field is same. So, this is rotating. So, this theta is continuously changing. But that theta is different. And twist, okay, that twist phi is different. Phi is a deflection. Okay. Now, what is this phi and C? Again, we will explain. Where C is what? Torsional constant. It is a property of a material. It is a property of that material of which that wire and this spring is made up of. Another name is torsional strength. Okay, torsional strength means when twist is given to that, it will restore more torque in that which it can use to regain its original shape after removal of the force. After removal of the force, when current will stop the current, then magnetic field, there is no effect of magnetic field line on that, and it will regain its original shape. Okay, so torque will be 0, magnetic force will be 0. Now, so more twist, more restoring torque. As I told you, more twist you will give means more torque will be developed, more current is passing, more torque will be developed. So more twist, restoring force, torque will be developed in the spring. Okay, so to understand this, let us understand this table. Okay, now look, suppose 1 degree rotation is given, or 1 degree rotation happened due to that torque. So restoring torque developed will be, let us say, C. For unit degree of rotation, let us take 1 C torque is developed. Suppose 2 degree of more current is flowing, more torque will be developed, so more deflection will be there. Okay, this is why you can say 5 values. Okay, 5 values. 2C. Okay, if 3 is given, for example, we are taking, so at that time suppose 3E. So proportional increase is there. Okay, so when 5 is given, suppose general value of 5 for general, so it will be what? C into 5. Yes or no? For 1 it is C, for 2 it is 2C, for 3 it is 3C. So 5 degree means it is a C into 5. Okay, so this is the restoring torque. This is a restoring torque. Okay, so C is the restoring torque per unit degree of rotation, we can say. What is the definition we can say? For 1 degree of rotation, how much torque is developed? That is called restoring torque. If 1 degree twist is given by external torque, by external force inside, okay, restoring torque will be developed is equal to C for unit degree of twist. Okay, so this restoring torque is equal to the external torque, which is torque developed due to the current, is equal to this restoring torque. Yes or no? Because when you increase the current, that restoring torque will continuously develop, but it will achieve some maximum value as per its property. Okay, and continuously it starts increasing. At one step, both values will get settled. External torque and internal torque, they will balance each other. Okay, so that balanced torque, at the balancing condition, we can say applied torque is equal to, applied torque means when due to current. Okay, so that applied torque is equal to restoring torque, and applied torque is what? NIAB sin theta into C, and restoring is what? C into phi. So this is the phi is what? Maximum deflection, we can say, due to torque. Now from that we can rearrange this equation. So I you take on one side, we want to measure current, no? So I you take on one side, so this will be C by NBA into phi into sin A. Only rearrangement of above equation. Okay, okay. So only you take I on this side, remaining all part NAB sin theta you take on other side. C into phi is here as it is. So this, let us say this is the equation number 1. Okay. Now here this phi and theta are variable, remaining all are constant. Now look, if we will talk about this C is a property of that material, it is constant. N number of turn constant, B magnetic field constant, area is constant. Okay, only phi and theta are changing, variables. Okay, phi is increasing, when you will increase the current, phi is increasing, and due to that rotation is happening, so angle between magnetic field and this area is also changing, this theta is also changing, both are variables. Okay, so I can say I is equal to, I is directly proportional to phi and sin theta. But what we want current should be current should depend only on phi, not on theta. Theta should be constant or sin theta should be constant. Only then direct conversion will be there. whatever reading you will get, it is only due to phi, means, and phi is related to current only. Okay, so if direct relation is there, only on that we will get correct reading, correct measurement of current will be there. Means what? We have to remove this sin theta term in this equation, or in the equation number 1 that we want. So for that, so different arrangement is done. Okay, to remove theta in the equation, radial magnetic field is used. So whatever I have discussed, okay, it is to make you understand the concept. Actual diagram will be different, actual construction is different. In that, radial field we have to include, so that we can eliminate sin theta. So how that is done, that we are going to discuss. If you understood up till now this, then we can move to this. If you understood this, how this theta is changing, how this current should be directly related to phi to remove this theta. Okay, if this much you have understood, then we can move forward. Okay, now how to create this radial magnetic field? For that, such a arrangement is done. So this is a magnet. Okay, this is a magnet, north pole and south pole. Inside there is a one cylindrical core is there. Okay, on that we can wound wires. To this one needle is kept, and this needle is will slide on this what you can say, on this scale. Okay, so this is also a diagram. Okay, same is there. This is the photo, actual photo, and this is the diagram. Okay, 3D diagram. Springs are there. This is the magnet. The wires are wound down. This cylindrical core is there. Okay, and this is one figure. If you look from this direction, if you look, it will look like this. Okay, it will look like this. This is a figure from NCERT. Okay, this is a figure given in the NCERT book. Now look. So this magnetic field, radial magnetic field, is created by using cylindrical magnets. So this is a cylindrical magnet. Okay, so here means how it is. Look, it is this surface I will draw. It is like this. Okay, and on this side same structure is there. Same structure. Due to that, what will happen? Cylindrical means what? So magnetic field line will pass like this. Okay, they will pass like this. In the previous case, they are straight like this. Okay, this was the north pole and this was the south pole. So they were straight, parallel to each other. But here it is not the case. Okay, radial, in the radial direction they are moving field lines. Okay, this is the change we have done. This is a change we have done. Okay, and another is we will use soft iron core wires. Are wound down the lengthwise. This soft iron core is used, cylindrical. Okay, cylindrical. Okay, and on that, these wires are not wound like this, not like this. Remember, not like this. They are wound like this, lengthwise. Okay, they are wound lengthwise. Okay, so this is very important, very important. This arrangement is very important, and this is made up of some specific material. Through that, field line can pass through this like this. But when field line is from this wire or from the loop is like this. Now here loop will become like this at this place, loop. Okay, field line will go like this. Yes, and if field line come like this and it will pass like this, so it will pass continuously. Here material will be there. So such a kind of material is there. It is a ferromagnetic kind of material, wavelength, so that magnetic field line continuously pass through this. No effect on this wire loop. But whatever field lines will pass through this, that is the effect. Now look here, this direction of magnetic field lines and this direction is a vector. This angle is 90 degree, and this 90 degree angle is continuously maintained. Okay, are you understanding? Yes or no? Just a minute, I will erase this will keep area vector coil always perpendicular to the magnetic field, that is theta is equal to 90 degree. Okay, that is theta is equal to 90 degree. Always it is maintained. How it is maintained? Look, again, if you will understand this now, so no problem. I will make you understand. I will explain how this angle is maintained constant. Look, here what is happening? This wires, this is a core, no? Wires, how the wires are wound? Look, how the wires are wound. This is your core. Okay, this is the core, and wires are wound like this, no? Wires are wound like this. Wires are wound like this. Okay. Now field lines, and this is how your magnet. Okay, so field line can pass like this. Okay, this will go like this on this side. Field line will go from this line, but some field line will pass through like this, through this loop. Okay, they will pass through this loop. Remaining will go like this on this side. So this field line and this field line, there is no effect on the loop. Okay, so this is your loop. Yes or no? So whatever field line will pass through this like this, it will cause torque. This field line will cause torque. But if this field line will go, it will go like this. There is a material, no? Here, this material is there. Okay, and this is a ferromagnetic kind of material. Field lines can pass directly, and there is no effect on this loop. Okay, due to this torque, this will rotate. Okay, this will rotate. Due to rotation, what will happen? Due to rotation, what will happen? Suppose now this is rotated like this. This is rotated now like this. So field lines are this wires are, loops are like this now. Okay, so but shoe is like this. Previously this was passing through the loop, so they will go directly from this, but field lines on this direction will pass through this. Field lines through this will pass like this, and they will cause the torque. Again, this is a area vector. Angle is this magnetic field is this on this direction, and this is the area vector. So this angle is 90 degree now. Previously, direction of magnetic field was not changing. Direction of magnetic field was not changing, continuous. Only direction of area vector was changing. But here, direction of magnetic lines also changing, and direction of area vector is also changing. But this angle is maintained at 90 degree. This is continuously rotating. Okay. Previously it was like this, then it was like this, then it was like this. Okay, so it is happening. So continuously area vector is maintaining the angle theta 90 degree with this magnetic field. Okay, observe this figure. Observe this figure. Look, here this field line will pass through like this. Okay, they will go like this, but this field line will go like this, and this will cause the torque. Now this is the area vector. Okay, these are the lines, no? So area vector is this. Okay, and magnetic field is in this direction. So this angle is 90 degree. Okay, if you rotate like this, so suppose this is the case. Okay, now the case is after rotation, case is this. These are the wires, loops. Okay, so this magnetic field line will pass through this direction. Remaining, this will go like this. There is no effect. But this magnetic field line, now this is the direction of B, but area vector will be perpendicular to this, like this. This is the area vector. Again angle is 90 degree. Again angle is 90 degree. So this is how maintained, this angle theta is maintained by radial magnetic field, which is continuously changing the direction. Getting or not? Previously angle between B was constant, okay, horizontal, but as due to rotation, due to torque, area vector was changing. Okay, this loop was rotating, so the area vector was continuously changing the angle, so theta was changing. Theta is the angle between area vector and magnetic field. Okay, but here the direction of magnetic field is continuously changing as it is a radial field. So area vector is also changing, but angle between them theta, which is 90 degree maintained, that is remaining constant. This is very important. So this radial, due to the radial magnetic field, we are able to maintain this angle theta 90 degree. So sin 90 is there in the expression, sin 90 is 1. And in this way, that part is removed. I told you now we have to remove that part. Clear? Understand? Should I move forward? So you note down all this part. I will erase this annotations. Okay. So soft iron core is strong ferromagnetic material, as I told you, and that field lines will pass through this remaining portion. This is made up of ferromagnetic material. So other field lines which are not along this area, along these wires, they will pass through this core directly. Yes or no? So this is what? This is, suppose this is a loop. So field lines, this field lines will pass like this. Okay, this is the area vector. This angle is 90 degree. Other will go like this. Other field lines will go like this through this. Okay, so there is no effect on this. They will pass directly. Okay, so this is what happening. So sin theta is maintained. Now in this equation, this sin theta in 90 degree is one value. So only C into phi into NBA will remain. So this much will remain. Okay, so let us say this is the expression number 2. Now we have got the current. Now C is constant, N is constant, B is constant, A is constant. Only I depends on phi only. I depends on phi only. So more current, more phi, and phi means deflection. To this deflection, this needle, okay, this pointer is fixed to this, and it will slide down this. And here we can measure the reading. So in milliampere. So this is a scale 0 to 10 milliampere. We can measure, or we can detect the current. Clear? Understand? Complete concept? No problem? Now look. So if you have understood the construction, working, principle behind this moving coil galvanometer, we will learn two important terms, that is galvanometer sensitivity, our sensitivity of galvanometer, that is current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity. Okay. So I want to ask you a question. Sensitivity means what? Sensitivity is, so person is sensitive means what? Okay, so there is the effect. Somebody says something, okay, you don't look good, okay, so that person may get hurt, so means he is a sensitive person. If you say, oh, you don't look good, some person may say, हाँ जाओ बाहर में जाओ. So he is not sensitive that much. But here, and that is what called sensitivity. So here galvanometer is sensitive means what? What is the input to this? Current. If current is given to him, it should show deflection. If current is flowing and if it is not showing deflection, means it is not sensitive. And if it is not sensitive, what is the use? How to measure the current? When current pass, for even and we are using this galvanometer for detection of a current. It should detect whether current is passing. Means smallest value of current it should detect. Means for smallest value of current also there should be a deflection. There should be development of torque. Okay, and due to that it should rotate. Okay, and it will show the reading. Sometimes if that sensitivity is, or this value of C is what we can say very less, restoring torque value of C is very less, so it will not rotate, and means it depends upon that property also. So we want sensitive galvanometer. Okay, now what is sensitivity first? Means for small value of current it should show more deflection, so phi by I. So for a small current, galvanometer should show large deflection. This is called sensitivity of the galvanometer. So phi upon I is the current sensitivity. Okay, so for small value of current, deflection should be more. If value of I is more, again deflection should be again more. Okay, so this ratio will give you the current sensitivity, should give you the current sensitivity. So from equation number 2, that is I is equal to C phi by NBA, this we have derived. Current sensitivity we can write, so phi, so this I you take on this side, okay, phi by I will be there, remaining term NBA by C you take on this side. So like this you can write, phi by I is equal to NBA by C. Okay, so this is what your current sensitivity. To increase current sensitivity, we can use N, because this current sensitivity, this ratio phi by I is directly proportional to NBA and inversely proportional to C. So means to increase this phi by I, we must increase number of turns, value of magnetic field, strong magnetic field we can use, so strong magnets we have to use, and area we can increase. So more diameter of that core should be more, so area of the loop will be more, and decrease value of C. You use such a material which have less value of this C. Okay, so that it will show more deflection. Otherwise, if value of C is large, then it will not, it will sustain that torque. And it will not show you any deflection for small value. Okay, so to measure very small value of C should be less. So particular type of material is used. Okay, so to increase, we have to decrease, no? So this word is, we have to decrease this. So this is what? Decrease. This is decrease. By mistake, typing mistake, I have written increase. So this is decrease C. The phosphor bronze like material is used in the wire. Okay. So voltage sensitivity now. Have you understood this current sensitivity? Now voltage sensitivity in the same way, phi by V means for small value of current it will show large deflection. Now what is this? And from that current we can calculate value of V also. So this is the Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. So this value of I we can put, this is the value of I, this we can put here. So V is equal to C phi NBA into R. Okay, so we want current sensitivity, so phi by V. So from this equation you take phi and V on this side, remaining term you take on other side. It will be NBA by CR. Only R is more in this case. Current sensitivity is what? The current sensitivity here, this is the current sensitivity, no? So only difference is what? Here additional R term is there. Okay. Now so so to increase voltage sensitivity, as I told you, we can increase NBA and decrease the value of C and R. Now look, same is there, additional R term is there in this. Now one important thing is that if you increase, suppose for example, if you increase N, so it will increase current sensitivity, yes or no, and it will increase voltage sensitivity also, because both are directly proportional to N. Here N is there, here N is there, yes or no? But it is always means if value of N if will increase, so both should increase, but always it is not happening. This is the meaning, this is the note given. If we increase the current sensitivity, voltage sensitivity may or may not change. It may change or it may not change. Increase in current sensitivity, it doesn't mean that always voltage sensitivity will increase. You may say, how to increase current sensitivity? Suppose N is increased, or B is increased, or A is increased, that will increase voltage sensitivity. Let us consider N. If N is increased, voltage sensitivity also should increase, no? But N means increase in number of turn, means increasing length, means increasing resistance, more length, more resistance. So, but voltage sensitivity depends upon what? Resistance also. So, if more resistance, less sensitivity. If N is increased, voltage sensitivity will increase, but R is increased, along with that R is increased, so that will again decrease the voltage sensitivity, and that will balance, and voltage sensitivity may remain same. But as current sensitivity don't depend upon R, if N is increased, current sensitivity will increase. Getting now? Okay, so this is what meaning. So based on this, we will solve one numerical and we will stop. Okay. So as I told you, because to increase current sensitivity, we increase the number of turns. Okay, the resistance of the wire increases, and thus the increase in voltage sensitivity is further reduced to the due to the increased resistance, and overall effect may be null. This is what I told you right now. No. Now let us take two moving coil galvanometers having same material, means value of C is same. And other parameters are shown in the table. Find the ratio of current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity of M1 and M2. So value of N is 30 here, value of R is 10 here, value of N is 42, meaning increased. So definitely R will increase, so 14. Area is same on both coil, B is same, okay, everything is same, only N is changing, that is why R is also changing. We have to calculate current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity ratio for both. Okay, so first of all, current sensitivity ratio, current sensitivity phi by I for 2 for second, phi by I for 1. This ratio we have to calculate first. So NABC, all this term for 2, okay, divided by NABC for 1. But here if you look here, this this A, B and C are constant, no? Area, this area same, B same, and C is same, because having same material means C is same. Okay, so they will get cancelled. Only what remains? N and N, means N2 and N1. So N2 42, N1 30. So this ratio is finally 1.4. So current sensitivity is increased from M1 to M2. Current sensitivity increased from M1 to M2. And increment is how much it is? 40%. Okay, so 1.4. Okay, now. Now, so current sensitivity increased due to number of turn increased. Okay, now let us talk about voltage sensitivity. So voltage sensitivity V by phi by V of second, phi by V of first. So phi by V, so NAB by CR of second galvanometer, NAB by CR for the first galvanometer. So now look here this ABC same for both, so get cancelled. So N by R of second and N by R of 1 remains. N by R of second and N by R of first remains. So value of N for second is 42, value of R for this is 14, and number of turn for first is 30, and R of first is what? Resistance of first is 10, no? Resistance of first is 10. Sorry, by mistake 3 is written, so it is 10. So 10 by 3, it is 3, and 14 into 14 ones are 40, and 14 threes are 43. 3, no? So this is also 3. So 3 get cancelled. Finally you will get 1. Finally you will get 1. Okay, means voltage sensitivity is not changed, remain the constant. Why? N is increased but R is also increased, so voltage sensitivity is decreased, and balance is, there is null effect. Okay, that is why that sentence is given. It is not necessary if number of turns of, if current sensitivity is increased, always voltage sensitivity is decreased or increased. No, it may remain same. There are other factors also there. Sometimes it may increase. Current sensitivity is increasing, voltage sensitivity may increase or may decrease. Okay, or sometimes remains constant. This is what we have learned. So what we have learned up till now? Construction principle of working of moving coil galvanometer. Okay, we have understood the concept, and from the concept we have learned that this current we can is directly proportional to what you can say phi, and inversely proportional to the angle between area vector and magnetic field. Now to have the direct relation between current and deflection, we have removed sin theta term. For that we have used radial what you can say field, and that was your actual construction. So in that cylindrical core and cylindrical magnets we have used, and due to that radial field we have obtained, and we have rotated that soft coil okay core, and we have maintained angle theta, and we have got some relations. Okay, and from that we have learned after that current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity, and in this we have learned that increase in current sensitivity always not increases voltage sensitivity, may or may not be increased. So this is all we have learned today. I hope you have understood everything. Okay, so if you have liked my lecture, you press subscribe it, press on bell icon. Okay, write something in comment box, share it to your friends. I hope, and if you have any kind of suggestion, please write in the comment box so that I can improve my channel. Okay, this much is there. So we'll stop here. Thank you.